on, guys? It is Dylan here. Today we'll be going over a ticker symbol analysis on the ticker symbol LMND Lemonade. Before we get to the techniques where I think the stock price might go, technical analysis and more, I just want to let you know that I am neutral on the company. So with that being out of the way, let's just get right into the chart. Okay, so you do see that I have this red line, this descending resistance that has batted this down once, twice, and 3 and 4 times. So look for a test in possible breakout or rejection at that range. If I go to the 1 hour, there's a very interesting pattern on the chart as I have this blue trend line, right? And then I take the other trend line and I connect it, and you get a rising wedge. Okay, so this is very clean. You see an ascending support level with an ascending resistance, and it forms that wedge-like shape, and we are in the apex of that range, right? So the more it wants to respect this wedge and continue to play out amongst it, the bigger the move to come, as the more bulls and bears will be waiting on the sidelines with a lot of cash in hand, waiting to short this thing to the downside or to go long on a potential break to the upside. If I get a relative price target of where this thing could go, you potentially could see an 18% move, or even, a conservative, I would say 8%. Right, so look for an 8% move potentially. If we do break this this ascending support level, then we might come down to that 74, 60 range, as that is a very important point on the chart. Is if I go to the 4 hour, see that blue line, support, then is resistance, and then we broke above that. Now we have some bullish momentum, so we will see how that pans out. If I go to the daily, see that the RSI is trending upwards, so that is very bullish, right? We got a very nice snap out on those undersold territories, and we've just been trending up ever since. Once we get to that 70 range, watch for a rejection though. We could start trending down anytime, but as of right now, that is not an RSI you want to be playing around with. If I pull up the moving averages, you do see that that 9-day moving average, we did get support on that. We are above that, and the 200-day is right next to that 50-day moving average, which is at that $87 level, and we do have a little bit till we go and test that. But this green and blue line is very important, as we might continue to get beat down from that if we can't get a bullish movement above it. But if we do get above it, then we could use those lines to potentially ride up the chart. If I zoom out to a bigger scale of things, you see that right away we have a low right there, right? Then we have a bunch of lows right here that were on the same level, right? And then we set another lower low. So if we continue this trend of setting lower lows, and lower highs, and that is the definition of a downtrend. So on the big scheme of things, we want to see a push above that. I would say that that $80 level, and hopefully we can hold that, as it is a pretty important part. That was some nice support that we did bounce off a couple times over here, right? We had a nice triple bottom setup with the bullish engulfing that we couldn't quite hold through, as we couldn't break the neckline. So definitely keep an eye on that. And if we could get above that high of the $100 level, then that will be very attractive to the longs as well. We have seen an increase of volume, which is very nice. Very nice. Just a big increase. If we see this increase accordingly, then you might see a very nice reaction. We did have earnings, and I do imagine that that did go quite well, as we have seen some bullishness coming off of that. So definitely keep an eye on that to see if maybe we lose some momentum as we're a week away from earnings, or we would sustain that and enter Monday and next week with some high volume. Definitely keep an eye on that. If you look at the MACD, you see that we are in a death cross. We were in a death cross where we did get a golden cross 2 days ago. So we have increased buying pressure on the MACD. We would want to see it get above that 2.28, as that was the peak for the previous buy pressure. That would be very attractive, but it does look like that is something you don't want to be messing around on a short seller bear point of view. But for the bulls, for the longs, it looks very nice for a potential continuation to the upside with the not with the moving averages, with the RSI and the MACD and the daily. If I go to the hourly though, you see that we are near that 70 range, right? We got to that 70 range, and we generally actually started trading upwards, right? So we hit those overbought territories, and the RSI was actually trending down, but we were actually making nice movements to the upside. So that actually is some bullish divergence that is quite nice. You do like to see that. We are hugging that support line on that 1 hourly, very close from breaking down to it. So we will see what happens into the next according days. Just move that trend line just a little bit, just like that. So we are hugging that, and it did look like we got a nice bounce off that, but we will have to see what sorry about that, what happens in the future. We did get the golden cross on the 50-day moving average and the 200, which is very, very attractive. We did see a run up accordingly. So watch that blue line and that green line for support moving into next Monday, and the red line and the red line. So with that being said, we're going to go over the weekly. See, the weekly RSI is starting to snap out. That is looking nice. We did it that 30 floor. I think the 30 floor, if I zoom in a little bit better, you see, yeah, we 39.93, so 40. We hit the 40 level on the RSI, and we've started to, just trade sideways, and we're starting to get some green volume. So I will keep you, tuned into the next weekly candle. But as of right now, we do have a nice bullish engulfing on the weekly, so generally that is a nice bullish confirmation. So yeah, the charts definitely do look pretty nice, but we do have this nice big pattern that we could be very vulnerable to a breakdown to potentially that 74.81 or even below. So even the RSI, the MACD, all of those indicators do look good. We will need to see how we react to this pattern in the short term of things. And with that being said, definitely like, subscribe if you like these kind of videos, as I am making these kind of videos daily. So have a good day. I do mean that genuinely, guys. Take it easy.